rally people around. For the next few weeks, we're going to talk about Nehemiah next week. What do you do after that? If you're taking notes, I want you to know the first thing that he's going to do, God's going to give you a godly burden. And after that, the second thing that's going to happen is you're going to have to take ownership of the problem. I want to show you where he does that again. Bring up the next slide. This verse is where he says, this is where he owns the problem. He takes responsibility for it, and he basically says, hey, this is on me, because he knows that the only way for this thing to get done is someone's going to have to care enough to say, I'm going to do something about it. And this is where that verse is. It's in verse, I believe, 7. He says, we have acted very wickedly toward you. We have not obeyed the commands, the decrees, and the laws you gave your servant. What's the teenage implication of that? I would say that the idea that's most important for you is that if your problems are always someone else's fault, then they'll never go away. If your problems are only ever because someone else didn't do something they should have done, and that's why you have the problems you have, you will always have the problems you have. Get used to them right now, young one, because they ain't going anywhere as long as they're someone else's fault. Because if they're someone else's fault, you're leaving it up to them whether or not they want to take it out of your life. That means you are just living subject to someone else's choice whether or not they're going to stop doing something to you. You've got to get power back to your life by saying, God, I'm not waiting for someone else to rebuild the wall in my own heart. That's me and you going to do this. And Nehemiah, that's what he modeled. See, what we see there and then is he looks at this thing and he don't wait for anyone else because he realizes this is on me. Now, and he don't stop there. He says, we've sinned. We've been wicked against you. Not just we, me and my father's family. It was me.